And before I proceed, I want to make an oath. I want to take an oath. And I want God to guide me. And I swear that everything that I'll say within this confession will be the truth. Nothing else but the truth. So help me, God. Let's get into it. So how did I know Emmanuel Makandiwa, and how did I know Evidence Chari? I approached him. And then I said, Evidence Chari, I hear that you have content that you want to publish about J. Israel. I don't believe the content that you have is relevant. How about I give you something that is tangible, something that can actually help you hit back on J. Israel? And Evidence Chari thought about it, and he badged, and he fell for it. And then a day after, he came back to me, and then he asked me, what do you have? And I told him I have content that might help you fight back J. Israel, or that can help you silence J. Israel. Then he said, no, it's fine. Show me the content first. And then I showed him. And these are old videos of J. Israel. And when I showed him the content, he liked it. When he liked it, he offered me 50,000 rands. When he offered me 50,000 rands, I told him to go back home and think again. I don't play for the small leagues. I make 50K when I'm sleeping. So you can't offer me 50K for something that can redeem your reputation, for something that can redeem your father's reputation. So he went back again, and then he thought about it. Then when he thought about it, he asked me to tell him how much I want. I told him I want 300,000, which he gave me. Then after he gave me the 300,000, I started questioning myself, where is Evidence getting all this money? But then soon, I was still trying to add up the pieces and try to think, could Makandiwa be involved of all these things that Evidence is doing? Or this is just Evidence, running these projects on his own in the name of Emmanuel Makandiwa? Because in everything that I discussed with Evidence Chari, he would tell me that he has to talk with his father. So after this whole thing went through, he realized that we can work out something that is far much bigger. He came back to me again. And then he said, how can I talk to J. Israel? Then I said, it's very easy. Talk to him. Try to approach him and give him a side of your story. Then he said, let's work on another project. 2 projects rather. And in these 2 projects, he said, the first project must be Blessing Mashangwa. It's the priority project. And the second project must be Ubert Angel. So within the first project, here's the interesting part. He came with a narrative. Evidence Chari. He came and proposed a narrative that we have to sell to Blessing Mashangwa. And this narrative was about Blessing Mashangwa being Makandiwa's second wife. Before he even explained the project, he said, I have 700,000. So the man already got our attention because J. Israel was involved in this already. He said he has 700,000. So we're all ears. Who can say no to 700,000? So this is how the project was structured. He said, listen, there's a conspiracy theory in UFIC about Emmanuel Makandiwa having a second wife. And there's another conspiracy theory of Emmanuel Makandiwa having girlfriends. So what I want us to do is to paint a narrative to Blessing Mashangwa that she is the second wife. That's all we had to do. J. Israel was in a relationship with Blessing Mashangwa, remember? And J. Israel was in the process of exposing Emmanuel Makandiwa at that time, remember? So J. Israel heard this. And then it was a very easy thing for him to go to Blessing Mashangwa and say, Blessing Mashangwa, I want us to go on live. And on live, I want you to say you are Makandiwa's second wife. Are you following me? Evidence Chari came and he said, I want us to push across a narrative. And the reason I want us to push across this narrative, listen, this is the interesting part. Evidence Chari was complaining that he has been serving Emmanuel Makandiwa for a very long time and he's not quite getting money or whatever. But I doubt, because I heard Emmanuel Makandiwa is the one funding Evidence Chari's lifestyle. Evidence Chari was saying he once went to preach at Emmanuel Makandiwa's church and he wasn't given anything. And I don't know if that is true. And when Evidence Charity came, he said, listen, my father has a lot of businesses, a lot of gold mines, a lot of diamond mines. You know, that's why he even gave me the story of Joel Williams. Remember, it's Evidence Charity that told me about Joel Williams. To say Joel Williams is the one that transport diamonds and gold for Emmanuel Makandiwa's business. So to him, he was saying, this is a way that we can make money out of this. He did not put it exactly like that, but he said, if we can push this narrative across and it sells, Makandiwa will pay millions for it to make this whole story go and to make this whole story go away. Because what he did, what we did not know that he did, is he went to Emmanuel Makandiwa and he convinced him that J. Israel and Blessing Mashangwa, they are planning to go live. And within this live, Blessing Mashangwa is going to be accusing you of being her boyfriend. Blessing Mashangwa is going to be accusing you of having her as a second wife. So I believe Makandiwa, when he heard this, it was something that was really going to strike him off balance in his ministry. So he said, okay, son, what can we do? What can we do to make sure that this does not go into the public? So the son then came with another solution to say, no, Papa, don't worry. I'm going to work with J. Israel and we are going to frame Blessing Mashangwa so that the story does not reach the surface of the internet, so that no one will believe the story. But the truth is, Blessing Mashangwa had never said that she is Makandiwa's second wife. Not a single day. We only started to know about Blessing Mashangwa being Makandiwa's second wife when Evidence Charity brought this conspiracy theory. And when he brought this conspiracy theory, he made it clear that there are only two people that know about this. And those two people are Blessing Mashangwa herself and Ubert Angel. And after the Blessing Mashangwa project, we were supposed to work on the Ubert Angel project. So what the next project was about calling Ubert Angel and record Ubert Angel. And Ubert Angel must confirm that Makandiwa indeed has a second wife and 5 girlfriends. Evidence said these are the only two people that know about this entire scandal. So Jay was in a relationship with Blessing Mashangwa. It was very easy. He went to Blessing Mashangwa and said, Blessing Mashangwa, listen, we want to nail Makandiwa. Unfortunately for Blessing, she did not know the plot. Jay asked and told Blessing Mashangwa that, what do you have on Makandiwa? Let's say that you were Makandiwa's second wife so that we can shake UFIC. Blessing also had a vendetta, and her vendetta was about the money that she lost to Emmanuel Makandiwa. So she was in a position whereby she can accept anything. I want you to look at the video that Blessing Mashangwa and Jay were recorded with secret cameras. You can tell that that video, it was a matter of a narrative being portrayed that Evidence Charity had brought. Jay was merely leading the conversation. He was leading Blessing into saying what he was asked by Evidence Charity to say. Blessing was just talking about, yes, I was the second wife. He used to. That was a script that Jay had given to Blessing Mashangwa so that they can use it on the live broadcast. And this script, this narrative, it was brought by Evidence Charity. And when Evidence Charity brought this narrative, he went back again to his father. That, listen, if we don't make this disappear, this is going to cause havoc in your ministry. Because people will actually believe that Blessing Mashangwa was your second wife. But Blessing Mashangwa had never admitted that she is a second wife to Emmanuel Makandiwa. So this is the first point I want to clear to everyone. Those that have been throwing stones at Blessing Mashangwa for saying or for plotting to fight against Emmanuel Makandiwa using the card of being Makandiwa's second wife. This was an idea that was brought by Evidence Charity to infiltrate J. Israel and Blessing Mashangwa and to cause them to talk about Blessing Mashangwa being a second wife so that he can convince his father to give him money. I don't know how much he was given by the father for this project, but to us, he only paid, how much was it? 500,000 rands, of which he had promised us 700. Evidence we still owe us $200, Baba, and we still want it. So that was the narrative. Now let's get into the issue of the secret cameras. And then Evidence went and bought cameras because this thing had to be, he wanted a visual and audio for this whole project so that he can really sell his story to his father and get money. So he brought cameras, secret cameras, which he delivered to me personally. And then we took those cameras. I went and then I set them up in what? In Blessing Mashangwa's, it was J. Israel's house by that time, in J. Israel's house. So Jay was aware of the cameras. Blessing Mashangwa was not. Jay had a script he got from Evidence Charity. That's the script that he was just running. And the reason why Evidence Charity was devoted to this part, whereby Blessing Mashangwa can say it herself that she was a second wife, was so that when he takes it, he goes with it to his father. And when the father hears that Blessing Mashangwa is actually saying she was my second wife, he'll be shocked. Like, dang, how can she say she was my second wife? But Makandiwa, it was your son that brought that idea up. It was your son that told us you have a lot of money. And it was your son that wanted his share of that money. You understand, Emmanuel? So we finished the recording. As you can say, Blessing is as ignorant as ever. She does not even know, no clue. She's oblivious of what's going on. She was just saying what Jay had told her to say. And she's unaware that she's being recorded. Then she's saying, yes, I was his second wife. I was what? Because that's what Evidence wanted. Evidence said, if she does not say that she was Makandiwa's wife, I'm not going to pay. So Jay had to make sure that Blessings talk about her. Blessing confesses about being Makandiwa's second wife. And he had to push her to say it. And she eventually said it. And after she says it, Jay was told again, after she said, make sure you bring about the topic of saying, you know that we are plotting this, ne? You know that we are lying about this. And eventually, Blessing, she was aware. She actually said it at the end of the video that, but Jay, do you know that we are lying about this? This is not true. So once that thing was all done, and then we took the video, the footage, we called Evidence Charity, we gave him. And when he listened to the video and when he was satisfied that the mission has been complete, he flew with the video to his father, to Emmanuel Makandiwa, and produced it and said, Papa, this is what I was telling you about. Listen, this woman has been saying that she has been dating you. This woman has been saying that she's in love with you. This woman has been saying that she was in a relationship with you. This woman has been saying that she is your second wife. So this is the broadcast that they want to do with J. Israel. But now we have set a trap for them. Now we have set a trap for her. Even if she goes on J. Israel's live tomorrow, we can now come back and expose it to be a liar. But this whole thing was a lie that Evidence created himself so that we can take money from Makandiwa. And after this, J. Israel was given the money. I was given my share. And they went on, J. Israel on his live broadcast. And he was given a condition again that you have to make sure that she comes on a live broadcast so that we can bury her for good. And the reason why Evidence wanted to bury Blessing was so that he can impress Makandiwa. Was so that he can make Makandiwa look holy to the world. Because remember, Blessing Mashangwa and Makandiwa, they've always been in a fight. They've gone to court. They've taken each other to court. So Evidence used that opportunity, that blind spot, to create a conspiracy theory of Blessing being Makandiwa's second wife so that he can make money out of it. And I'm sure he did. After this whole thing, he bought a Range Rover. a white Range Rover that he drives. He bought a Mercedes Benz, started going on shopping sprees. Haven't you seen Evidence Charity with celebrities, trying to endorse himself, to grow his brand and stuff like that? All that costs money, and that money is the money that came from the scandal that he created. So we were done with the one of Blessing Mashangwa. Evidence Charity came again and said, listen, the second person that we have to hit hard is Ubert Angel. And when Evidence Charity came to me about the Ubert Angel proposal, he said, my father, Emmanuel Makandiwa, said, if we can get Ubert Angel on record confirming that Makandiwa indeed has a second wife and has girlfriends, he'll give you anything you want in this life. It means if I can indeed succeed in putting Ubert Angel on record saying that Makandiwa has 5 wives, 5 girlfriends and 2 wives, I can actually wake up tomorrow and say Makandiwa wants 10 million and then he can give me. That's what Evidence came to me and said. So the only thing that was left for us to do was to put Ubert Angel on record and confirm that indeed Emmanuel Makandiwa has 2 wives and 5 other girlfriends. If Chari, Evidence Chari, the closest person to Emmanuel Makandiwa, can come and tell us that there is a story, there are conspiracies, there are rumors that my father has a second wife and girlfriends. If I remember on one of the articles I posted concerning this guy called Donald Mando, which I got from Evidence Chari, he was indeed saying that Donald Mando is the guy that takes Emmanuel Makandiwa to his girlfriends. It was within the script that Evidence sent me. So most of you are inclined to defend Emmanuel Makandiwa. No, he cannot. No, why not? Listen, these are the 2 closest sources to Emmanuel Makandiwa. Chari is the favorite son, is the closest son. Some of you might think I'm using this as a blind spot to justify my points, but by virtue of him being that close to Emmanuel Makandiwa, definitely he knows things that you don't know, that I don't know. And Ubert Angel, by virtue of him being once the best friend of Emmanuel Makandiwa, once the closest person to Emmanuel Makandiwa, what are the chances of him telling us lies about Makandiwa having a second girlfriend or Makandiwa having 5 girlfriends? So we believed everything we were told by Chari. And all we had to do was to ask Ubert Angel and hear if he can confirm the story. And Ubert Angel confirmed the story, that surely he does have 2 wives and 5 girlfriends. Is it hearsay? Personally, I don't know. Was it a plot? I really don't know. So within this video, the biggest point that I wanted to establish is the fact that Chari has been overriding and exploiting his proximity to Makandiwa. And on that basis, he has used that as an opportunity to run conspiracy theories that are ever ending. So I'm giving you a warning, Emmanuel Makandiwa. This young man called Chari, you need to cut him off, not today, not tomorrow, but as soon as yesterday. I'm not glorifying you, because you, Makandiwa, I have so much that I'm going to say about you, so much that I have about you that will prove your connection to everything that I've just said. But the point I want to hit home is every information we worked with concerning Blessing Mashangwa being your second wife, concerning what else? Concerning the battle that you have with Ubert Angel, it was a narrative that was sold to us. And we just had to run through it because your son said everything is coming from you. So we cannot dismiss or disconnect Emmanuel Makandiwa from any of this, because Evidence Chari said with his own mouth that the money comes from Emmanuel Makandiwa. The money is coming from Emmanuel Makandiwa. Where do you think Evidence Chari can have 5 million? So the people that I want on this broadcast, to probably apologize to his blessing Mashangwa for getting involved in all this mess because of greediness of evidence. And I wish if J. Israel can also take that honor to apologize to this woman. This was your woman. This was your someone that you probably wanted to marry, because one thing I know for real is you loved her. If you can have the guts, my brother, to apologize to her for what you did, for agreeing to work with the devil so that you can destroy her image, I'll be very pleased with you.